Hey guys, and welcome to Armchair Conversations with Rob. Throwing out another random topic because we're talking about good mental practices, good mental habits, and good psychological, spiritual, and emotional hygiene, as it were. So, the random topic today is going to be about the vicious cycle. And that vicious cycle is represented by three letters in this case IFD. The I stands for idealization. The F stands for frustration, and the D stands for demoralization. And they're big words and they sound kind of fancy, but it's really actually quite a simple concept. You would be surprised how many people actually fall prey to this on a regular basis. Even people who are quite intelligent or smart or emotionally intelligent or fluidly intelligent or people who have a good grip on life often fall prey to this vicious cycle because it's very insidious and it just creeps in sometimes and catches you unawares. So let's run through it real quick. Um, Idealization is when you are, it's kind of like the next big thing. It's like you want to hang your hat or all your hopes on this one thing that's going to just change your life. Um, it's almost like, and this is a horrible example, but it's almost like the bum that looks at you and asks you for $1 and tells you that that's going to change his whole life. Sad but perfect example of idealization, especially an unrealistic expectation. So to me, idealization is when you have a event or a tangible or a perceived intangible that you make responsible for complete changes that don't require any extra internal effort on your part. Just like I'm going to win the lottery and everything's just going to be great and everything's going to be all fine and all finished and all done. Or, when I get that promotion at work, or if if I just could get this car or this watch, or, everything's just going to be all roses from that point. Um, and, we laugh when we hear somebody else say it, but when you're in the thick of it, we don't always realize that that's exactly what we're doing. So let's just take one right off the rip. The late Zig Ziglar did a little a little circle for his audience once that I heard, and even though he is not necessarily specifically talking about this IFD cycle, it really kind of illustrates a point. For example, okay, you're going to get started with whatever big project or something that's going to make everything better when the kids get out of school. Okay, well, they get out of school, and then you're like, well, you know, I I have to take them everywhere. I got to be home to watch them. I can't really get started on this project yet. But maybe when the weather gets a little better, because then they can go outside and play, and it'll be warm, and I can get outside myself, and everything will be okay, and I won't have to deal with it so much. So the weather changes. Now you're like, well, damn, the weather's really nice and I really haven't had a chance to go out and do, and this doesn't have to be like summer, it could be winter, whatever season is best for you, because you could be like, well, I'm finally going to get to go skiing now, or I'm finally going to get to go hiking, play basketball, do a little swimming, kayaking, whatever. So I think maybe I'll get started on it when the kids get back in school. But that's where we came in. See what I'm saying? So now you basically wasted a whole season. And I shouldn't say wasted, but I'm going to say wasted a whole season because you idealized the perfect timing for this thing to happen. And every time you got to that or were given that and it didn't immediately spur you to action, you put it off, which is procrastination. But you did idealize the perfect time. So let's do another example. Like, okay, I'm gonna win the lotto, everything's gonna be great. So you get this money, and now you think your problems are solved, your life is done, you're saved from, all the frustrations of life. But in truth, you're actually going to have different sets of problems. It's just that the money is a magnifier. So Not that everybody that wins the lottery doesn't, does it wrong or has bad experiences, but okay, now you've got a situation where everybody that you've ever known or didn't know that you had as a family member is out coming out of the woodwork, and a lot of them have their hands stuck out. They're going to get, then they get mad at you because you don't necessarily just come up off all your money and just take care of all of them. The grocer doesn't give you the hookup anymore because why should he? You're freaking rich now. He didn't care. You should be able to pay for it and not even think twice about it. Any price I ask. You know, people who were your friends before that now that you're dealing with a different level, a different kind of money, suddenly they're not wanting to hang out with you anymore because it points to whatever lacks or limitation that they have. Or worse, you get the money and now you become a tyrant and you begin to lord it over people because you think you're better now because you have that money. Um, so that idealization that was going to somehow fix all your problems and change your life now leads to frustration because now you're upset about it. It's not necessarily the fun thing you thought it was going to be. A perfect example of this is people who have not worked on their internal representation of themselves that are famous or, become famous, especially whirlwind successes overnight. If you don't work on the stuff that's inside that takes care of you and helps you to give a strong representation of who you are, you can turn against other people. You can turn inwardly. You can become destructive. You can become self-destructive. You can become demoralized. Moving on to the third stage, because this thing that you thought was going to take care of everything and solve your problems isn't what you thought it was going to turn out to be. And now you're upset about it. You're frustrated. You're demoralized because now you think that, oh, life isn't worth living, and all this did was cause me a bunch of pain. So why did I try? Maybe leads to self-loathing where you start to hate yourself. You do things to cause yourself problems, to mess up your career, to mess up other people's lives. And now you are in demoralization. And now the next thing you're going to do to try to get out of that, if you're part of this vicious cycle, is you're going to find the next thing that's going to change your life. Let's say you're a music artist, and now all of a sudden, if I could just get that duet with, I don't know, Shaggy, for example, I'm now everything's going to be great and it's going to be fine. And you become happy again because you're idealizing this new event that's going to take care of everything, and you get it. You work hard at it, you become it, you get that duet, and everything's great. But then maybe it doesn't turn out like you think it should, or everything in your life doesn't get fixed. You may still have problems with your kids, problem with your mom, problem with your family, problems with your friends, problem with legal troubles. Um, so it didn't really fix your problem. You just thought it was going to, so your expectations of it were unrealistic. So now we're looking at being frustrated again, and then eventually becoming demoralized, and then looking for the next thing that's going to solve the problem. When a lot of the problem has to do with you, especially your representation inside of who, what, and how you are, and how you're going to feel, and what you're going to be. Because that work can't be done by something outside of you. Things outside of you are nice, and in some cases, once you've done the work inside, they can become representations or manifestations of your work, but they're not going to be the thing that does the work for you or solves your problem. You have to do that. And some of that work starts on the inside, and eventually it has to manifest on the outside into actions and deeds to take care of some of the things that you need to put in place so that you can have what you want, and not have the thing be so important that it's going to take care of all the little things that you didn't handle. Just something to think about. So again, the cycle is idealization, frustration, demoralization. Curious what your thoughts are. Send me some feedback, send me some comments. I'd appreciate it. If we could continue this conversation, I'd like to get some of your opinions and your thoughts. So drop me a line on my YouTube channel. If you like it, subscribe. If you don't, that's what search engines are for. You'll find what you need. Look for your next big thing. Thanks for sharing my armchair. Have a great day whenever and wherever you are.
Please don't slow me down, 'cause I wanna reach the top now. All we have to do is go with the flow. We're trying hard to let loose all the things that bother us. Then we go out and let it go. Then we go out and let it flow. We're trying hard to let